Psychopath. The erosion of hope. I have repeatedly explained that hope is a false mistress, and that people should not really rely on it. Reliance, instead, should be placed on evidence, clear decision-making, and action. To trust to hope is to place yourself in the hands of randomness, yet time and time again people do so, and I have watched how that hope fades and drains from people. I witness with a level of dispassion the gradual erosion of hope in the life of an individual. Hope, that flickering flame that promises possibilities and dreams, slowly becomes smothered and extinguished, leaving behind a trail of resigned despair. I observe as hope emerges tentatively, lighting up the eyes of the individual, breathing life into their aspirations and ambitions. It is a powerful force that propels them forward, guiding their steps towards a future they can envision. It imbues each moment with a sense of purpose, infusing their actions with an expectation of better days to come. However, as time passes, I witness hope wane, as the weight of life's disappointments and struggles chip away at its foundation. The initial enthusiasm gives way to doubt, as one setback after another erodes their belief in the possibility of positive change. It is a slow and insidious process, as small disappointments compound, gradually eroding the foundation upon which their hopes and dreams were built. I watch as they question their own abilities, doubting their capacity to weather the storms that life throws their way. They begin to see themselves as participants in a predetermined narrative, victims of circumstance, rather than architects of their own destiny. With each passing disappointment, their resolve weakens, their spirit shrivels, and their hope begins to wither. The once vibrant glow in their eyes fades, replaced by a dim, distant look, as if they are staring into a void. Their once buoyant spirit now appears burdened and weary, weighed down by the weight of unfulfilled expectations. Life loses its luster as they find themselves trapped in a seemingly never-ending cycle of disappointment, unable to break free. As an observer detached from their emotional landscape, I understand that hope's gradual decline often mirrors the ebb and flow of external circumstances. Economic hardships, personal setbacks, failed relationships, all contribute to this fading sense of hope. Yet, there is also an internal transformation taking place. It is a slow surrender to apathy, a resignation to the belief that life will always be defined by struggle and disappointment. Where once they dared to dream, now their aspirations shrink and fade. The once audacious ambitions give way to practicality, as they settle for mediocrity in an attempt to shield themselves from further disappointment. The spark of possibility dims as they resign themselves to a life dictated by limitations. I am not burdened by the emotional weight of their diminishing hope. I simply witness, analytically noting the muted emotions and dampened expectations. But even in my detached stance, I cannot help but recognize the immense loss that occurs when hope recedes. I have watched as a figure slowly meandered through the labyrinth of their own existence. With detached eyes, I witnessed the gradual fading of hope from this weary soul, Every step appeared heavier, every breath exhaled with a hint of resignation. I am unruffled by the waves of emotions that flooded the human spirit. I remain unaffected by the ebbing tide of hopes dimmed by life choices and circumstance. Unbound by personal sentiment, I have seen how the weight of the world seemed to crush the flickering flame of hope. As the days passed, optimism turned to skepticism, and aspirations crumbled under the weight of disappointment. Their once bright gaze became clouded with doubt, their once enthusiastic stride slowed to match the lethargic tempo of existence. I have seen the dejection settle upon the individual, their shoulders slumping under the burden of lost faith. It was in the mundane moments that I saw the hope drain away, in the empty gaze that met the mirror, devoid of any reflection of the future, in the hollowness of their laugh, robbed of the vibrancy that once lent it, in the silence that encased their dreams, the unspoken acceptance that turning away from hope was both easier and safer. I have seen how hope has accompanied so many people's journeys, and I have done so devoid of emotion. I see that the fading hope was not a swift decline, but a gradual unravelling, an erosion of faith that occurs when life presents too many obstacles and too few victories. I marvelled at the ability of the human spirit to endure, even in the face of flickering embers belonging to fading dreams. As this dance between disappointment and resilience unfolded, I noted that it was not for me to intervene, to offer guidance, or to fill the void left by eroding hope. Instead, my role was to document, to understand, and to honour quietly the complexity of the human experience. I have continued to witness hope corroding away from so many weary appliances. I saw the subtle shifts in balance, the moments of surrender to cynicism, and the quiet descent into an acceptance tinged with resignation. They knew that the landscape of hope was ever-changing, and that perhaps in moments of surrender new seeds of hope may germinate, ready to bloom again in due time. But that is simply hope, misleading once again, by encouraging a belief in yet more hope. The erosion of hope is fascinating to observe, and the repeated reliance on hope which follows neither logic nor intelligent design. I have banished hope. It plays no part in my life, but it remains important for me to understand why others rely on it so heavily, and to marvel in the observance of when hope erodes from a person, a satisfying validation of how my unshakable conclusion about the uselessness of hope against the effectiveness of action is entirely accurate.